WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Not really sure how the distribution of the Gospel Rye from Australia is in the States, and I'm not sure what states they're in, if any at all, to be honest. This is the Solera Rye. So, the Gospel Solera Rye, alcohol 42.5% ABV, 700 milliliter bottles. I'm just going to try to read on the back here. Alright, the Gospel Solera Rye is made using 100% unmalted rye from a single farm in the Murray Mallee region of South Australia. One of the driest regions of the driest countries in the world, using ancient technology that for centuries had been used to nature sherry and port. The spirit is double distilled and then added in our bespoke 5-tiered Solera system of American oak with Australian red wine barrels. Now, I read on the website there was virgin American oak and second fill bourbon barrels and red wine. You have 5 tiers. You have 3 different types of casks that are named. Give us more information. This is a geek project. This is a geek whiskey. The geeks need the information, the transparency, please. So, they are based in Melbourne, Australia. The result is the perfect balance, well, I'll be the judge of that, of sweet and savory, flavor notes, baking spices and plum on the nose, dark toffee and bright spices on the palate, mixed with dry ginger ale and a slice of orange. Well, the first thing I realized when reading this is made for mixing. This is not made for how I drink my whiskeys. Neat. Glass, whiskey, enjoy. So, if they put a cocktail recipe on the bottle, if you look at the website, www.thegospelwhiskey.com, you will notice that there's a lot of pictures of cocktails. There's a lot of recipes for cocktails. And rye is often a drink that is a spirit you put in cocktails. But I'm a whiskey channel. I'm going to review the whiskey on the merits of its taste, flavor, and aromas in my glass. And I'm going to do this now. Alright, so over here in Germany, we're going to pay for this at the moment 40 euros, which is actually a little bit cheaper than it used to be. In Australia, this is going to charge you or run you right around $79.99 Australian dollars. This is Whiskybase number 167735. Not many votes, just a couple people have written a few words there. That's okay. Now, if I go to the website, thegospelwhiskey.com, they also have written a few things here. Utilizing the ancient Solera technology. It wasn't great on the label, I thought. All right, so Solera, you have one tier. You put the whiskey in there. Let's start at the bottom. You can start at the bottom. You pull whiskey out. Let's say a third of the cask. So from the tier above, you put down a third. From the tier above, you put down a third. From the tier above, you put down a third. And from the 5th tier above, you pull down a third. And you fill the highest, the 5th ranked Solera tier is what they're calling it here, with new make or aged whiskey or whatever you want, all right? And so it goes through that Solera system. Now, usually you have to actually then add whiskey that is the age that comes out at the end to have an age statement on something. How else can you guarantee that you're actually getting the 3-4-year-old whiskey there? Some people have gone, all right, so I'm going to leave it in each and every single tier here for 6 months. If I pull it out of the bottom, pull it down, another 6 months, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, and I can do that 6 times, so 6 months times 5, ta-da! So I get my 3 years there. I'm not exactly sure how they're doing that. I want more information about this bespoke Solera system. Now, before I try the whiskey, before I pull out my comparison whiskey, just maybe a few words about the master distiller here at the Gospel named Ian Thorne. Now, Ian Thorne is a guy from Australia. He has over 2 decades worth of experience in the brewing distilling industry. He's worked in the UK. He's done his Masters of Brewing there. He's done his Masters of Distilling. He came back to Australia after having worked there, I think, for 7 years, and ended up at Starward. Starward is at the moment, at least in Germany, one of the most visible Australian distilleries out there. They have a brand ambassador just for Germany, paid basically by Diageo money that has been invested into the distillery there. They have great distribution here in Germany. They keep on getting great bottles, and they do a lot of advertising and sponsoring and so on. We know about Starward, and Ian Thorne was one of the people that worked at Starward for a good many years. In 2019, he had left Starward, and actually his job was to find a distillery manager, basically, for the Gospel. And he said, it's not a job for me. There is actually a head distiller already there. I don't want that job. And so he was like, hey, I'll just help you at the beginning. I'll find someone for you. And he liked the job so much, he basically stayed. I just love that. Yeah, it's just, I like this. All right, so he met up with Andrew Fitzgerald and Ben Bowles. They founded the Gospel Distillery there in Melbourne. They're using grain rye from one single farm, very small, very high density, high flavor density kernels there. And now, Ian Thorne had not actually distilled any rye, I think, beforehand. He had not worked on a column still, which they have there. A lot of the systems that they were doing, the Solera system, was new to him as well. And he was like, this is really cool. Let's just go here and stay here and work this out. And that's what he did. 42.5%. I'm going to pull up a bottle here that has 43%, has 100% unmalted rye. This runs about 36 euros. This is 39 euros. This is from Canada. This is from Australia. Now, a word to the wise, I love this bottle. This is my perfect rye whiskey for the price. Now, the thing is, Ian Thorne wrote down he once had a Family Van Winkle 13-year-old rye that actually rocked his world. $2,000 bottle at the moment, basically. It rocked my world as well. Now, that's better than this. But, hey, I can buy 50 bottles of this for one bottle of the Family Reserve, Van Winkle Family Reserve 13-year-old rye. And so, beautiful, beautiful stuff in my opinion. All right. So, on the color side, they are not much different, to be honest. This might actually have a little tiny bit of a heads up there. I get menthol and eucalyptus. I love this rye smell. Over here, I get more of a dill. Here I get a rye bread dough. Here I get a little bit of youth and sharpness going on here. Maybe even tiny, tiny little bit of a white pepper moment. This is not the best smelling nose in the world. I don't really get the red wine. I do imagine I'm getting virgin oak. I get the vanilla from the bourbon barrels, but do I get the red wine moment here? No. All right, let's try this. Australian whiskey, 40 euros over here, 42.5% ABV, a bespoke. I hate the word bespoke. It's just one of those marketing terms they started using, about 8 or 10 years ago. Oh, it's bespoke. It's custom. It's unique. It's one of a kind. It's bespoke. Tell me what the system is. Give me the 5 tiers. Break it down for me. I want to know. Curious minds want to know. Now, if you're old enough like me, you'll remember that That was a slogan back then, a jingle almost. Cheers. No words whatsoever about non-chilled filtered, unfortunately. No words whatsoever about natural color, unfortunately. That would be great if it was on here someplace. The interesting or disappointing thing about this whiskey is, I get a little bit of a spice. I get a little bit of a pine note going on in there, and then towards the end I get a lot of bite, a lot of alcohol bite. It's not too much, but it's definitely there. It's a mix between white pepper and a little bit of ginger. This is a C. On a bad day, a C- whiskey. Value for money, C-. Now, if I think about the uniqueness of this bottle, I don't think I can get a different Australian whiskey over here in Germany for 40 euros. I think most of them are 50 plus, so that's okay for value for money. But I would like to have a little bit of a different profile of the whiskey. Now, the Gospel does have, and there's a video online here of the Gospel straight Australian rye whiskey with 45% ABV. Costs about 10 euros more, and that is also 100% Australian rye and double distillation, 3 years in charred white American oak casks, and then finished in Australian wine casks. Similar, but different. All right, so let's just try a little bit of the Lot 40 before you go back here. I love Lot 40. This has such a familiar, beautiful, rounded rye moment for me. Many people in America are more the Bullet MGP 95.5. I've always been the Lot 40 guy. It's just like, just buy that. That's you're not going to regret it. This is great. Borco is the importer over here in Germany. And if I were to say that they've sold an extra 100 plus bottles just because of me praising, ranting, and raving about this, I think that would probably be an understatement. I've been doing this now for 7+ years. And I've been holding this bottle up in the camera time and time again and going, hey, here, if you want a great rye, Lot 40. If you want a great value for money in the rye market, Lot 40. This beats almost everything America has for the value for money out there. Sorry, but I love this rye. Going back here to the Solera. It's not bad at all. It's a C, on a bad day, a C- whiskey. Value for money, I'm going to go for the C as well. But it just doesn't wow me. It just doesn't catch me. It just doesn't do it for me like the Lot 40 does, like a couple other products does. I'm going to, and I hope this comes out later, it might come out first, who knows. I'm going to talk about the Legacy Project, the Gospel Project's Legacy Rye, and they're trying to replicate Maryland-style rye in Australia. So let's see how well they do that. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing. What's your favorite Australian whiskey? Is it something from Star Wars? Is it something from the Gospel? Is it something from the 40 plus other distilleries in Tasmanian? What is your favorite Australian whiskey? Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell others. Maybe hit the bell. Once a day, once every other day, you get a nice little video from me. Bye-bye.